week's AEW Dynamite built up the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and we had a number of announcements. We also had Bryan Danielson making a major announcement, which turned out to be quite bittersweet. We also had Kazuchika Okada making his first appearance in AEW, as well as a whole lot more, lots of big matches on the show, Tanahashi wrestling, and all that sort of stuff. So let's get straight into it with Bryan Danielson, who was out. He had some bad news for his fans and some good news. Bryan said he had been set to face Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door, but he was neither cleared to return or take part in Blood and Guts. However, the American Dragon said that he did have a perfect replacement for himself for Blood and Guts, but it would only be revealed at Forbidden Door. Zack Sabre Jr.'s music hit, and the two had a stare down. And yeah, I'm actually really intrigued by this. Who's it going to be? Could it be someone to join Blackpool Combat Club? Could it be a debuting Gargano, Cesaro, someone like that? But yeah, I don't know which direction this is going to go, and definitely does create an interesting dynamic for both Forbidden Door and Blood and Guts. But anyway, moving on then to the first match of the night, and it was Orange Cassidy and Roppongi Vice versus United Empire. Rocky Romero and Kyle Fletcher started things off. Romero had the upper hand and tagged Trent in. Trent took down Fletcher with a clothesline before Mark Davis tagged in. Trent then laid in with rights and left, but Davis hit a big boot. The former then hit back a suplex and tagged Orange Cassidy in. Cassidy then sidestepped Davis and hit him with a drop kick. Trent was seen back in. Davis tagged Will Ospreay, and Ospreay hit a stunning backbreaker for a 2 count before Kyle Fletcher tagged back in and locked in a symbol leg crab. Cassidy tagged in again, and it was him up against both Fletcher and Davis. Double Hurricane Rana by Cassidy before he hit Fletcher with a DDT. Orange, Trent and Rocky Romero all hit dives to the outside and followed it up with a splash to Ospreay for a 2 count. Orange then went to the suplex Orange Cassidy, but he reversed it to a stun dog millionaire. Cassidy and Romero tagged in. Fletcher and Romero hit Romero double team powerbomb for a near fall. Romero then kicked out and hit a sliced bread as things broke down. Roppongi Vice and hit a double strike on Fletcher. Trent then went for the strong zero, but Ospreay stopped him in his tracks. He then went for a Suzuki special outside, but Orange Cassidy carefully avoided it. Romero then wiped Ospreay out, and Orange Cassidy hit the Kyle Fletcher with the orange punch to pick up the win. And yeah, this was a frantic match. Yeah, really fun match, it has to be said. But for me, I just don't think United Empire should be losing twice on the road to Forbidden Door. Maybe once it's acceptable, but twice, yeah, I'm really not sure about it. So despite how good the match is, I might give it a 5 out of 10, to be honest. Jay Dutt was backstage with Jay Lethal and Saturn Singh. Dutt then said Singh's in-ring debut couldn't have gone any better and added it was time to celebrate. Lethal then called out Samoa Joe, who hasn't been on AEW TV for the last few weeks. Lethal said Joe needs to tape his shoulder and come back to work, so Lethal could win the ROH Tag Team TV title. And yeah, I think we all know it's leading to the match. Can we just get on with it, please? Christian Cage was down in the ring for an interview with Tony Schiavone next. Fans in attendance were vocal in their displeasure for his actions last week. Cage ran down the fans in Milwaukee before getting to the heart of the matter. He said that Jungle Boy eliminated him from the Battle Royal last year. He had to get his revenge. Christian then ran down the fans on social media, saying they gave their irrelevant opinions on a business they didn't know anything about. Cage then said that he hadn't come to help the younger generation. He had come to make money and line his pockets, and he made easy money while managing Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Christian added that he didn't need to hear anything from those in the back who weren't at his level. He then said they needed to have legendary matches that were talked about for a few weeks and after it happened, or matches that were so good that pay-per-views were named after it. We also got footage of Christian Cage's interaction with Jungle Boy's mother and sister after his attack last week. He then emphasised that he didn't want to be Jungle Boy's father or father figure, and then adding that his father had passed away. Luchasaurus then headed down to the ring and started to choke Christian, who implored him to stop, saying he had something to discuss in private. And yeah, this was just a brilliant promo by Christian Cage. As a heel character, really getting back in the ring properly. I can't wait to see what he can do. This was brilliant stuff, and yeah, intrigued to see where this feud goes for sure. Next up was Malachi Black versus Penta in the All-Atlantic Championship qualifier. The match started with Black and Penta going back and forth. Penta hit a backstabber in the corner before action briefly spilled to the outside. Back in the ring, Malachi landed the boot to the head, but Penta hit an overhead suplex into the corner. Penta then hit a cutter for a near fall and came close to winning on a couple of many occasions. Black was still in the match and was waiting for a chance to strike. When Penta let his guard down, Black struck him with a boot across the head to pick up the win. Pat came down to the ring after the match and stared down Black. Miro then appeared on the screen and said that he would redeem both Bastards and Paige when the time came. And yeah, decent match, of course it was, between these two. Black going through, definitely the right decision. And yeah, I'm not a massive fan of this title, but you know, it'd be a great match for the door. But anyway, next up was Silas Young versus Hangman Paige. Two-time ROH TV champion Young made his debut. Both men traded strikes early on before Hangman took Young down with a clothesline on the ringside. Paige then headed to the top rope and hit an horrifying moonsault, wiping out Young. Hangman then went went to set up the buckshot area, but Young rolled out from under the bottom rope. Hangman then went for an inside cradle, but Young kicked out at 2 and hit a twisting neckbreaker of his own. Both men were perched precariously on the top rope after this as Hangman hit a suplex. Hangman then headed to the top rope again and took Young down with a flying elbow strike. He shook off more offense from Young and took him down with a clothesline. Paige then hit the buckshot lariat for the W. Adam Cole's music hit after the match, but Jay White's music hit as well, and he interrupted Cole as he was getting on the mic. He said that he couldn't defend his title against Cole at Forbidden Door because Cole had already lost to Hangman twice. When White then walked down to the ring and came to blows with Hangman, Hangman sat at the backshot lariat, but Cole hit him with a low blow to take him out. As Cole was about to smash Hangman with the IWGP World title belt, Kazuchika Okada's music hit and the Rainmaker came down to the ring. Okada and Paige cleared the ring together, and we're going to get a fatal 4-way match at Forbidden Door, and what a bloody match that's going to be. Kind of got what I think most people wanted in the end. Maybe a singles match between Paige and Okada would have been good, but this is definitely brilliant as well. And yeah, a really fun match. Enjoyed this a lot. 7 out of 10. Marina Shafir versus Toni Storm was up next. Shafir grabbed Storm's leg and went for a takedown. Storm blocked it and was first back to the ropes. She then hit a low drop kick, but Shafir quickly took her down with a boot. Storm was forced to roll out to ringside where Nyla Rose hit her with a senton. Back in the ring, Maria was in control. She then hit the Storm with a German suplex before briefly locked in a submission hold. The match spilled to the outside again as Marina sent Toni Storm headfirst into the side of the ring. Marina set Toni Storm up against the steel steps and went for a hit with a running boot. Storm then sidestepped her and hit a tornado DDT off the steps. Back in the ring, Toni Storm rolled up Marina Shafir for the victory. And yeah, to be honest, it was kind of just there. To be honest, it was okay, but it's kind of just in typical women's position. Kind of just seemed meaningless, to be honest. No real build for the match on Sunday between Storm and Ross. So yeah, it has to get a 5 out of 10 from me. Jericho and Archer then took on Tanahashi and Moxley in the main event. Jericho and Archer made the dominant start to the match. Archer's size and power proved to be massive advantage for the heels. He wiped Moxley out early on, leaving the heels in total control. Archer and Jericho then traded tags and isolated Mox in their corner, leaving Tanahashi helpless on the apron. Following the break, Tanahashi finally tagged in. He was all over Jericho, getting an early 2 count. Jericho then went for the walls of Jericho. Archer and Moxley continued to brawl out the ringside as Jericho and Tanahashi traded right hands in the middle of the ring. Tanahashi then went for the high fly flow, but Jericho countered and knocked in the walls. Tanahashi refused to submit, but Mox broke hold with a cutter. Tanahashi then took Archer down with a sling blade. Archer then went to the hit of the blackout, but Moxley planted him with a paradigm shift. Tanahashi then hit the high fly flow and pinned Archer for the W. Kingston ran down to the ring after the match to attack Jericho Guevara and got involved as Willie Youth came down to help. Suzuki and Umino also ran down to ringside as more members of the JAS ran down to ringside as things broke down. Meanwhile, in the ring, Moxley and Tanahashi faced off ahead of their title match as chaos continues to reign at ringside. A chaotic end to Rampage, but at the same time I think it's a brilliant end to Rampage, obviously tying in 2 storylines together. Match was really fun. Can they coexist? For me, it's done well here. On the whole, loved it. Really good stuff. 7 out of 10. Overall this week, Dynamite gets a 7 out of 10 from me. On the most part I thought it was a really, really strong show. There were some bits on there that I wasn't quite as big a fan of, like kind of the women's match just kind of felt meaningless, and United Empire losing again. But on the whole, it was a really good show, fun main event, Christian Cage promo was brilliant. On the whole, it was a really solid go-home show and definitely made me more excited for Forbidden Door. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Thanks for comments down below. Follow into things catch me for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to my channel, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.